Unit 3, Lesson 2, the Cavite Mutiny. A short background of the Cavite Mutiny. Cavite Mutiny is a uprising of 200 Filipinos composed of different residents of Cavite together with soldiers, Spanish soldiers, towards the arsenal of the Spanish government in Cavite. When you say Cavite Mutiny, it is like a revolution towards the Spanish government in 1872. And in Cavite Mutiny happened in January 20, 1872. And in 1872, there were two important events that happened in that year, known as the Cavite Mutiny, which resulted on the martyrdom of Gumburza. Maybe some of you are not aware of Cavite Mutiny. Siguro ngayon nyo lang narinig yan. It is your first time to hear about the Cavite Mutiny. But anyway, Cavite Mutiny is one of important phenomena or phenomenon in our Philippine history because Cavite Mutiny resulted with the uprising of nationalism in part of different Filipino. Remember, it happened in 1872, and different Filipinos now are trying to understand regarding the abuses of the Spanish government or the Spanish soldier towards Filipinos because we all know that we are considered as Indios as part of on how Spaniards perceive Filipinos. But anyway, because of this Cavite Mutiny, there are different uprising of Filipinos and then nagkaroon tayo ng Philippine Revolution on August 1896 together with the Katipunan na yan. So we all know that 1872 as well uh, motivated Rizal to go against the Spanish government or the abuses of the Spaniards. But anyway, after the 1896, nagkaroon na tayo ng independence on June 12, 1898. It's all came from the Cavite Mutiny. But anyway, from that one, what I'm only pertaining here is that as part of the history that we have, it is very important for us to look on the different sacrifices of our forefathers. Okay? Why? Because in some point, their own sacrifices must not be granted. They fought for our own future. They fought for our own generation. Imagine na lang, if you were the Filipinos during the time of the Spaniards. Of course, you lack freedom. You're called as Indio. You don't have the right to learn. Okay? So, walang education to be provided for everybody, most especially with Filipinos. But anyway, the sacrifices or the actions did by our forefathers give us a clear information on how are we going to fight for our own nationalism. We need to love, we need to become loyal, and we need to love our own country in order for us, of course, to develop then as a citizen and for the whole country itself. Well, anyway, for Cavite Mutiny, sabi ko nga, Cavite Mutiny happened in January 20, 1872. And it all happened with the leader of named as Fernando Lamadrid. And Fernando Lamadrid was the sergeant in Cavite, specifically in the fort of San Felipe. Okay? So, ganito kasing nangyari nun. So, bakit ba nagkaroon ng uprising? Remember, La Madrid is also considered as a Spanish soldier. Pero, he tried to revolt against the Spanish arsenal. Meaning, he was very disappointed in terms on how the Spanish government here in the Philippines ran its government considering the Spanish soldiers. Okay? So, coming from that one, they would like now to revolt against the Spanish government even though they are Spaniards itself. So, ang ginawa nila, they tried to get different participants considering the troops, so yung mga bata-batang Spaniards na mga soldiers din under pangalan nito, under La Madrid, together with the Gumburza, the friars during the time in Cavite, di ba? Also Jose Burgos, and then Zamora, and so on. And we also have the different residents in Cavite. So what happened there is they tried to attack on January 20. They tried to attack the Spanish arsenal, and they tried to shoot different Spanish soldiers kung sino mang naka-duty during that time. Okay, so that is only a short background of Cavite Mutiny. On the preceding slides, we're going to look on the different excerpts of different historians together with different key agents who were at the time gave a very important decisions in terms of or discussing the Cavite Mutiny. Okay, so now let's look on the different primary sources that we could get on the event that happened in January 20, 1872, or also known as the Cavite Mutiny. So first one, the first primary source that we're going to look is the excerpts of Jose Montero y Vidal. Okay, so unahin muna natin yung mga accounts provided by Spanish historians or even the Spanish governor at that time. So first one is we have Jose Montero y Vidal. But before we move on the different excerpts of Vidal, sino ba si Vidal? Very simple lang naman. Jose Montero Vidal was the current historian during that time. Okay? On the Philippines. So under siya ni Governor Izquierdo. Because on 1872, the Governor General or the Spanish Governor General on year 1872 in the Philippines was Izquierdo. Okay, so first one, according to Vidal, insurrection is caused by the abolition of privileges of the laborers of the Cavite arsenal in the exemption from the tribute. So, ibig sabihin, according to Vidal, one of the main causes of the Cavite Mutiny was because of the abolition of privileges of the laborers in Cavite and the exemption from the tribute. So, meaning, ibig sabihin daw, the troops there, together with La Madrid, if you could still remember, he was the leader of the Cavite Mutiny, or he was the one who led the different Filipinos to uprise against the Spanish government. Bakit nga ba? Okay, so first reason daw of La Madrid going against the Spanish government was because number one, their own privileges were abolished. So, remember kasi, we have different privileges if you are a Spanish soldier and if you are a Filipino. Of course, we all know during the time of the Spanish government, when they as our own colonizer, we lack privileges. So ibig sabihin, we lack some rights compared with the rights or privileges of the Spaniards. And then, remember, Filipinos are required to pay tributes. When you say tributes, these are the taxes. So, nangongolekta sila ng tax. Pero, during the time of Izquierdo, they will remove the privileges of the soldiers in Cavite, specifically in the Fort of San Felipe, were removed. At of course, galit na galit ito si La Madrid. Bakit nyo kami tatanggalin considering that we are Spanish soldiers and we need to enjoy the rights of the Spaniards because we are Spaniards itself, sabi ni La Madrid. So therefore, when he tried to talk with Izquierdo, the current Governor General at that time, Izquierdo did not lift the abolition of privileges. So, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon pa rin ng abolition of privileges in terms on the team of La Madrid. So, what happened there, nagalit si La Madrid and he called different troops. He called the friars, the Gumburza, the priests, and he called the different residents of Cavite to go against the arsenal of the Spaniards in Fort San Felipe in Cavite. Okay? And number two, The propaganda is to overthrow the monarchical principles and beliefs of the Spanish Catholicism. So, aside from the reason of abolition of privileges and an exemption of tribute, another reason for the Cavite Mutiny is that, of course, we all know now that there are a lot of revolutions that happened before. Even before the Cavite Mutiny, we have the Lacandula uh, Revolution, the Silang Revolution before the Cavite Mutiny. So, we have a lot. The Gohoy Revolution, all of those things. So, nagkaroon na ng mga, there is now an idea that Cavite Mutiny is also the same with all of the revolutions or the goal of all Philippine revolutions. And that goal is to overthrow Spanish Catholicism or to remove Spaniards coming from the Philippines. Kasi nga, sabi nga natin, Philippines must be part of the Filipinos must be the owners of the Philippines. It is not the Spaniards. But anyway, that is another reason according to Vidal. Which if you're going to look on the history, tama nga naman, di ba? Kasi nga different revolutions, they would like to become independent. And how will you become independent if you're not going to revolt against the Spanish government or the King of Spain or the sovereignty being practiced by Catholicism? Next, number 3. The revolution is planned for the assassination of the Spanish artilleries and friars to attain independence from the Spaniards. Sabi ko nga paulit-ulit lang na the main goal of the Cavite Mutiny is to have independence. The Filipinos wanted to have more freedom. They wanted to have the authority to govern themselves. Kasi nga, they are Filipinos, it is the Philippines, and they are the right officials who will govern their own territory or as well as to the country. Okay? So, yan ang excerpts ni Jose Montero y Vidal. So, next, another primary source coming from the Cavite Mutiny. Kanina, from the previous slide, we discussed the excerpts of Jose Montero y Vidal, a Spanish historian, regarding his excerpts from Cavite Mutiny. And then, let's move on naman on the excerpts from the official report of Rafael Izquierdo on the Cavite Mutiny of 1872. So, sino nga ulit si Rafael Izquierdo? Rafael Izquierdo was the former Governor General in 1872. Okay? So, tingnan na natin ang excerpts naman ni Rafael Izquierdo regarding the Cavite Mutiny. So, the following are the different reasons daw kung bakit nagkaroon ng Cavite Mutiny. If you're going to look on it, halos magkaparehas lang sila. They complement each other. The excerpts of Vidal together with the excerpts of Izquierdo are actually complementary. They support each other. Kasi nga, of course, Vidal is under Izquierdo and both of them are Spaniards, di ba? They're under Spain. Pero tingnan ulit natin for number 1. For Izquierdo, the insurrection was motivated, prepared by the native clergy, by mestizos and native lawyers. Meaning, sabi daw dito ni Izquierdo, the main leaders daw of the Cavite Mutiny was not only a simple revolution. It was actually planned by different ilustrados. And when you say ilustrados, it pertains about the people who are educated. So, matatalino itong mga to. Considering mga abogadillos, ang tawag kasi nila doon sa mga abogado or abogadillos, we have different mestizos, yan nga, lawyers natin. And when you say clergy, kasama na rin dito sila Gumburza, di ba? Gomez, Burgos, and then Zamora. But anyway, so that is the first excerpt of Izquierdo. Kasi nga, the same with other revolutions, they wanted to have independence. They wanted to practice without being compelled by the Spanish government or by the Spanish Catholicism. Okay? And number 2, the mutiny is a protest against injustice of the government in not paying the provinces for their tobacco crop and against the usury practiced by the finance department to the crop owners. Okay? So, still the same lang din kay Vidal. The main reason of Cavite Mutiny, the causes of Cavite Mutiny, it is because of the abolition of privileges and together with the payment of higher taxes. When you say usury kasi, it pertains about on the tributes being collected by the Spanish government to be paid by the Filipinos or the residents of a certain community. And starting 1872 kasi, January 1872, Izquierdo ordered a decree telling that they're going to collect higher prices, specifically in tobacco, because during the time of from the 19th century, 1800s hanggang 1899, uso ang tobacco during the time. And many of Spaniards, not only Spaniards, even Filipinos are using tobacco. Okay? And planting tobacco is somewhat profitable if you're the middleman or if you're the businessman. But if you're the farmer, kawawa ka. Kasi nga, you're the one who planted and then you need to pay on the government. Di ba? But anyway, kaya itong mga Filipino farmers na to, together with the residents of Cavite, they were very angry towards the Spanish government, especially with Governor General Izquierdo. Kasi nga, why are you going to tax us higher considering that we're only the farmers who farm our own crops? Specifically, tabako. Wala na nga kaming pera, you're going to collect more taxes. So, nagalit din naman sila. And then, nagalit din yung Spanish soldiers who were abolish their own privileges. So parang nag-team up na sila. Together with leader La Madrid, and then we have the Gumburza, different lawyers as well, and different farmers. So nagkaroon sila ng unity to go against the Spanish government. But the problem there is they lack the number kasi. Because they believed before na there would be reinforcement that will come from Manila. Kala kasi nila, during that time in Manila, uh, when the start of the mutiny, magkakaroon sila ng reinforcement. So, may tutulong sa kanila in Cavite. Pero, the reinforcement that will come from Manila did not come. Kaya, nagkaroon ng, so natalo sila in other words. Because they lack the number. Okay? And for number 3 naman, still from the excerpts of Rafael Izquierdo, they encouraged the rebellion by protesting what they called the injustice of having obliged the workers in Cavite Arsenal to pay tribute starting January. Ayan nga, yan ang sinasabi ko sa inyo. On 1872 kasi, Izquierdo ordered a decree for collecting higher taxes towards the workers and then on the farmers. That led to Cavite Mutiny, or that led to the dissatisfaction of these workers and then farmers. Kaya nagkaroon ng unity between the Spanish soldiers who were removed from their own privileges, and then with the farmers and then workers to go against the Spanish government or the Spanish arsenal in Cavite Mutiny, specifically in Fort San Felipe. The report or the highlights of Izquierdo's report is somewhat biased. This is an obvious bias report which highlighted that the attempt to overthrow Spanish government in the Philippines is to install a new hari in the persons of of Fathers Burgos and then Jacinto. According to Izquierdo, native clergy attracted supporters by giving them charismatic assurance that their fight would not fail because of God's support. Now, let's move on the analysis na naman. So, we're now done presenting the different primary sources or the excerpts of historian Vidal together with Izquierdo. Ngayon, let us now analyze on their own reports. Mamaya, later on, I'll be giving the different excerpts naman or ideas that goes against the excerpts of Vidal and then Izquierdo. But if you're going to look on uh, the excerpts of Izquierdo or the reports of Izquierdo to the King of Spain during the time, was very biased. Why? Because there are a lot of things that were created. He fabricated different stories in order to get the attention of the King of Spain. Okay? Kasi nga, during the time of Izquierdo, if you're going to look on the background of Izquierdo, he was a ambitious man, ambitious leader. He would like to get all of the authority, he would like to get all of the power, abuse his own authority, and use this power for violence. And that's the background of Izquierdo. And he does not want to be removed coming from his position. Now, what I'm saying here, not all of the reports created by General Izquierdo are actually the truth. Okay? And most of the things that he reported were actually stories that he would like to create in order to preserve his power and then authority. Kasi nga, minsan talaga, some of the leaders ay mga ganyan, di ba? When we taste the power, when we taste the authority, kala natin sa atin na yan forever. We do not want uh, to be removed from the office. We do not want to be removed with our own authority. Parang ganon. So, now, still as part of Cavite Mutiny, he used this event in order to remain in his throne, to preserve his power, to preserve his authority, being the Governor General in the Philippines. On the preceding slides, I'll be discussing the different excerpts by Tavera together with Plauchut with their own analysis regarding the Cavite Mutiny. Kasi nga naman, if you're only to base the report from Vidal and then Izquierdo, it is actually one-sided. Anong one-sided yan? All of the reports, all of the primary sources now are on the part of the Spaniards. So, wala tayong evidence or walang information on the response naman yung mga tao or the 200 Filipinos or 200 men that uprised during the time of Cavite Mutiny. So all of which came from the excerpts or primary sources came from the Spaniards. So ngayon naman, let's look on the different ideas against these reports or these primary sources that support the or supported the Spaniards or the Spanish government or Spanish Catholicism. These are now the primary sources that neutralize the excerpts of Montero Vidal and then Rafael Izquierdo towards the Cavite Mutiny. Kasi nga sabi ko from the previous slide that the excerpts of Rafael Izquierdo and then Vidal were one-sided towards the Spanish government. Okay, so we have the account of Pardo de Tavera. Okay, first of all, before we move on his account, sino ba si Pardo de Tavera? Pardo de Tavera was born on 1850s and I think he died in 1925. And Pardo de Tavera is actually he has a different descendants. So he is a Filipino physician as well, a Filipino historian, pero hindi lang siya a pure Filipino. He has descendants with Portugal or Portuguese and then Spanish. Okay? So parang tatlo siya. Tatlong ang lahi niya. Yes, Portuguese siya, Spanish pa siya, and then Filipino. But anyway, he would like to neutralize the Cavite Mutiny. So, here are the accounts presented by Pardo de Tavera. So, ito ang analysis niya in the Cavite Mutiny. That is somewhat different on the report of General Izquierdo and then Vidal. So, number one, according to Tavera, the central government in Madrid had announced its intention to deprive the friars in these islands of powers of intervention in matters of civil government and of direction and management of university. So, sabi niya dito that during the time or in the year 1872, the Madrid government, when I say Madrid, Madrid is the capital during the time on 1872 in Spain. So, in other words, the central government in Madrid or the Spanish government announced that they would like now to suppress or alisin ang mga powers ng friars. And who are these friars? These are the priests. So, ibig sabihin, they would like now to separate the church and then the state. So, ngayon meron na yan, di ba? But anyway, it all started from 1872 uh, on their own intention to separate the church and then the state. Now, if the state and then the church is now separated, the meaning of that now is the friars or the priests or the Spanish priests may not have the power now to practice its own authority. Okay? So, magiging ano na lang sila, parang symbolic personalities of the church. So, yan. Yan na ang main contention why Izquierdo used Cavite Mutiny as part of his own conspiracy. Sabi nga natin, during that time, Izquierdo is a very ambitious person. He does not want to be removed from his office. Gusto niya, he would like to preserve his own power and authority forever. Now, he is now looking for another set of alternative on how will the central government of Madrid will not remove its own power in the Philippines. Kasi Philippines is one of the beneficiaries wherein the friars' power will be removed from the jurisdiction of the state on practicing its own authority towards its territory. Now, Izquierdo is looking now for an alternative. And what is that alternative? The Cavite Mutiny. So, he conspired together with Jose Montero y Vidal to create now a report in order to please the King of Spain not to remove the power on the friars and to the Governor General. Meaning, dapat daw ang separation of the state and then the church will not be practiced in the Philippines. Yun ang gusto nilang mangyari with Izquierdo. Kaya, ang ginawa nila, they tried to use the Cavite Mutiny. Sabi ni Izquierdo, there is an uprising. They would like to become independent. Okay? They are going against, the Filipinos are going against the King of Spain. So, there is now a rebellion. And from the report of Izquierdo, he is now pleasing the King of Spain during that time not to remove his own power. Kasi, if you're going to remove though the power of the friars, if you're going to separate the church and then the state, what will happen now? There will come a rebellion. And if there's a rebellion, there is a chaos, and there will be anarchy. And of course, ayaw mangyari yan ng King of Spain. As much as possible, sa lahat dapat ng colonies of the Spain, there must be peace and there must be control. Okay? So, Izquierdo now is trying to please or fabricate different stories in order not to remove his own power coming from the King of Spain. Kasi nga pinakamataas pa rin would be the crown. Even though you are the Governor General here in the Philippines, you still need to abide to the decrees or the rules and regulations to be set by the crown or the King of Spain. Okay? So, number 2. The pricing among soldiers in Cavite was used by the Spanish residents and friars to dissent the order of the central government. So, basahin na natin lahat saka ko explain. Number 3, thus Izquierdo used this insurrection to justify their own continuing dominance in the country, and mutiny is such a perfect opportunity. From my own explanation kanina, it is more of conspiracy rather than a simple revolution. Even though, kasi nga alam na nila that they were revolutions that happened for the past centuries. Coming from Miguel Lopez de Legazpi on the 16th century, 17th hanggang nung 19th century. Okay? So, ano kaya ang the best way in order for us to delay the decree to be implemented by the central government of Madrid? Okay? Paano kaya that the separation of the church and the state will not be practiced here in the Philippines. So, nakaisip sila ng isang paraan in order to delay or to remove the decree now of the Spanish government. And they tried now to use the Cavite Mutiny. Okay? Now, if you're going to analyze now Cavite Mutiny, it is somewhat a simple revolution lang naman. Parehas lang yan sa lahat ng revolution natin. The main reason, okay, to remove the abuse of the Spaniards, ano pa? To have their own independence. So, they have the same goals, all of these revolutions. They would like to fight for their freedom and so on and so forth. And nagkaroon lang siya ng controversy when Izquierdo together with Vidal used the Cavite Mutiny in terms of preserving their own power. Okay? Kasi in 1872, nagkakaroon na ng different uprisal, not only here in the Philippines, even in different countries. Meaning, there are a lot now of colonies who are being given their own independence. Kasi nga, there are a lot of revolutions that also happen in those different colonies by the Spaniards. Example na doon ay mga in South America, we have Brazil, even in Peru, Argentina, even in Chile. So, those countries were given independence because of the mere fact na nagkakaroon na ng revolution. All of their own colonies would like to become independent coming from the crown or the king of Spain, together with the Philippines. Kaya, the central government of Madrid or the central government of the Spaniards or the Spain concluded na since ganyan ang nangyayari, why not na lang to remove all of the powers being given to the friars. Kasi ang problem daw kasi, from all of the rebellions, from all of the revolutions, were the abuse of the powers of the friars. Kaya, nagkaroon sila ng decree on removing or separating the church and then the state. Pero, still hard-headed si General Izquierdo, he would like to preserve his own power together with the friars. Kaya, they now created a report regarding the Cavite Mutiny in order to please the Spain not to separate the state and then the church. So, that is now one of the analysis that we need to understand in terms of describing a certain phenomenon. I know that Cavite Mutiny, on a very broad perspective, that it is a somewhat very simple revolution, pero there are a lot of things that happening behind the picture. So we're not only here to look on what happened, but we need to understand what really happened. Okay? Another primary source that neutralizes the report of General Izquierdo towards the Cavite Mutiny. And these naman are the accounts of Edmund Plauchut. And before we move again on the summary of reforms as presented by Edmund Plauchut, Edmund Plauchut was a French journalist, so traveler siya. He was a historian din naman, and he's traveling around the world and creating different histories and verifying those histories. So, according naman on the accounts of Plauchut, there are the summary of reforms that he presented. Kasi before Izquierdo became as the Governor General in 1872. So bago lang na Governor General si Rafael Izquierdo in 1872. The previous Governor General was known as Carlos Maria de la Torre. Okay, so please take note of that one. Before Izquierdo became the Governor General in 1872, Governor Carlos Maria de la Torre was the Governor General from 1869 to 1871. And General de la Torre was considered as the most loved or the most famous Governor General because of his own accomplishments on how the way he governed, the Spanish government. So during his time, hindi nagkaroon ng masyadong rebellion because he knows how to negotiate with the Filipino people. He knows how to preserve his power together, not to abuse this power or not to abuse his own authority. Now, before he was removed or before he was replaced by General Izquierdo, he made a summary or reforms that needed to be practiced or implemented in the Philippines before he go or before he will be removed from the office. So here are the summary of the reforms that he created na presented by Edmund Plauchut. Okay? So first one, there must be changes in tariff rates at customs and methods of collection. So according here with De La Torre, kailangan daw dapat na bawasan ang tariff or taxes being collected from the services or from the products being produced by the Filipinos. Okay? Not only the products or the tax, even the tariff. When you say tariff kasi, these are the taxes being collected on the imported products and then with the exported products. Meaning, when you say tariff, kung may papasok na product, like for example, may isang product na nanggaling sa Spain, and then ibebenta siya sa Pilipinas. Now, ang tawag doon ay imported products. So therefore, dapat daw bawasan yung tax na mako-collect on those imported products together with the products being exported. And remember, in 1872, Philippines is one of the major exporters of tobacco and spices, not only in Spain and together with the Southeast Asian nations. So meaning, madaming products ang na-export from the Philippines going to the different countries. And according with former General De La Torre, we need to lessen these tariffs or we need to lessen these taxes kasi nga ano na lang ang mabibigay with these Filipinos. Remember, they're only farmers. They're only producing these plants, tobacco, for them to live. Okay? They need livelihood. And what will happen now if we're going to collect more taxes with these farmers? Ano na lang mangyari? There will come a revolution. Kasi nga, they will become angry, they will be dissatisfied from the rules and regulations being practiced or implemented by our own government. Okay? So that is one reform initiated or being proposed by General De La Torre to the central government of Spain. Okay, and number two, removal of surcharges on foreign importation. Sabi ko nga kanina, lessen or alisin daw as much as possible, remove all of the charges on the imported products. Kasi nga, if you're going to put tariff kasi on imported products, the product will become, or the price of the product will become higher. Like for example, the product, iPhone, it was created in Spain. Kunwari lang Spain. Now, since Spain is the one that produced the iPhone, pag pumunta siya sa Pilipinas, like for example, the price of the iPhone in Spain is 50,000, like for example lang 50,000, pero pag na-import na siya sa Pilipinas, magiging higher na yung price. Why? Because of the surcharges in importation, or it also known as tariff. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, according to De La Torre, remove the tariff in order to set a minimum price on a certain product para daw hindi mag-increase yung mga prices in order for the natives or the residents of the Philippines to afford that product. Kasi nga, pag tataas ang price niya, well, of course, hindi na nila ma-afford ang product na yan. Next, number 3, reduction of export fees. Sabi ko nga kanina, we need to remove the tariff coming from exported products. So, bakit nga ba? Why do we need to remove the export fees? Okay, very simple. Ganito lang yan. Balik na rin lang natin yung sample ko kanina. Sabi natin, from iPhone, the price will increase if there will become a tariff. Now, the same with tobacco. Like for example, if you're going to buy tobacco here in the Philippines and it is worth 5 peso, pag linagyan yan ng fees in terms of exportation, the price as well will go up. Now, when the tobacco goes to Spain, the price now will be higher. So therefore, it will be harder for the residents of these different countries to afford now tobacco. And thus, wala nang bibili sa tobacco. Kasi nga, they cannot anymore afford the price of tobacco. So parang ganun lang naman yan. Number 4, permission for foreigners to reside and own properties in the Philippines. Okay? Number 5, establishment of Minister of Overseas Affairs. Okay, so next slide would still be the summary of reforms of uh, General De La Torre. So continuation of De La Torre's reforms. Number 6 is we have changes in primary and secondary education. He would like to create a universities here in the Philippines as well, aside from Santo Tomas. 7, establishment of an Institute of Civil Administration. Study of direct tax system, abolition of the tobacco monopoly, and then number 10, establishment of Society of Arts and Trades to be opened on March 1871. Now, coming from all of the proposals of General De La Torre, you're going to observe talaga that he was a good politician. He knows how to handle, he knows how to govern a certain country. Kaya nga, he was famous and he was very loved, not only by the Spaniards, together with the Filipinos. Kasi he knows how to neutralize. Okay? He is an arbiter in terms of creating a certain rule or regulation. He will not create a decree that is somewhat one-sided. Kasi nga, the other side will revolt na naman. Diba? So, he needs to balance and he knows how to balance. So, all of the summary of reforms na ginawa niya, he submitted this one to the central government of Madrid. Okay? So, noong 1871, before siya umalis sa office, he sent his own proposal to Madrid in order to Madrid to give a decree regarding his own proposal. Kasi nga, even though you are the Governor General, you still need to abide on the rules and regulations to be given by the King of Spain. You cannot create a law if you are the Governor General in that certain country. It must still come from Spain. Okay? So, coming from that one, Governor General De La Torre is now a role model for the Filipinos to have their own independence. Okay? At galit na galit dito si Izquierdo. Remember, the outgoing Governor General was De La Torre, and then the incoming Governor General is Izquierdo. And the principles of Izquierdo with De La Torre is somewhat different. De La Torre knows how to balance. However, for Izquierdo, he is a dictator. He wanted to preserve his own power. Okay? He doesn't care about the welfare of the people. He doesn't care about the welfare of the peasants, and so on. So, here, coming from his own analysis, he would like to abolish the reforms or the proposal now of De La Torre. Okay? Kaya, yun na nga, De La Torre now, Izquierdo now used Cavite Mutiny in order to make this one as part of his plan on preserving his authority and power. Last, for the conclusion, so all of the things that we have discussed regarding the Cavite Mutiny, the conclusion now is that the friars used the Cavite Mutiny or the incident as a part of a larger conspiracy to cement their own dominance, which had started to show cracks because of the discontent of the Filipinos. They showcased the mutiny as part of greater conspiracy in the Philippines by Filipinos to overthrow the Spanish government. Okay, so those are now the things that we try to discuss in terms of Cavite Mutiny. It is still part of the Philippine controversies, aside from the first mass, di ba? On the lesson 1, still as part of the analysis regarding the controversies, we really need to be meticulous. uh, we should know how to analyze the different primary sources. We must not only depend a certain history from a certain primary source. We need to collect these primary sources. We need to collect the different thesis, antithesis, synthesis in order for us to understand more about our own history. Kasi nga, it's not really simple to listen about history. Like what we are used before, di ba? Pag yan ang sinabi ni history teacher natin, and then so be it. No. We need to analyze, we need to verify. Okay? So that is now the end of our Unit 3, Lesson 2.